Welcome back to Inner Glow. Today, we are exploring a skill that is more valuable than any degree, any amount of capital, or any piece of technology. We are talking about the ability to take an idea that lives inside your mind and plant it into the minds of others. In his landmark book, Talk Like TED, Carmine Gallo makes a bold claim. Ideas are the true currency of the 21st century. Think about that for a moment. You can have the most brilliant innovation in the world, the most moving story, or a solution to a global crisis. But if you cannot communicate it in a way that moves people, your idea will die with you. In this deep dive masterclass, we are breaking down the 9 pillars of the world's most successful presentations. These aren't just tips for a stage. These are secrets for every conversation, every meeting, and every relationship you will ever have. By the end of this hour, you will understand the neurochemistry of storytelling, the rule of 3, and why 18 minutes is the sweet spot for the human brain. Let's unlock your inner glow and master the art of the world's top minds. Part 1. The emotional connection. The first secret of great speakers is something you cannot fake. Gallo calls it unleashing the master within. Many people think that public speaking is about polishing your image, standing straight, using the right hand gestures, and speaking in a deep, authoritative voice. But the data from thousands of hours of TED Talks tells a different story. The speakers who change the world aren't the ones who are the most polished. They are the ones who are the most passionate. Passion is not a soft skill. It is a biological phenomenon. When you are truly passionate about a topic, your brain releases dopamine. This doesn't just make you feel good. It makes your audience feel good. It acts like a mental glue, making your words stick to their memory. Take the example of Amy Mullins. She is a world record-holding runner and a double amputee. When she stood on the TED stage, she didn't just talk about prosthetic legs. She talked about the human potential. She wasn't passionate about the technology. She was passionate about the idea that adversity is not a hurdle to overcome, but a fire that forges who we are. Before you speak, ask yourself, what business am I really in? If you are a teacher, you aren't in the business of grading papers. You are in the business of lighting sparks. If you are a parent, you aren't in the business of discipline. You are in the business of building a human soul. When you find the why behind your what, your voice takes on a weight of conviction that no AI can replicate. That is your master within. Part 2. The power of narrative. Pillar number 2. The master of storytelling. Neuroscientists have found that when we listen to a list of facts or a boring presentation, only 2 parts of our brain light up, Broca's area and Wernicke's area. These are simply the parts that process language. They take in the data, but they don't feel the soul. But when we hear a story, the entire brain lights up. If I tell you a story about a spicy meal I ate, your sensory cortex, the part of the brain that tastes and smells, activates. When you tell a story, you aren't just giving a speech. You are performing a brain sync. You are literally making the listener experience what you experienced. You are bypassing their logic and speaking directly to their spirit. Carmine Gallo suggests the 3-story rule, used by the most influential communicators in history. To master your influence, you must learn to navigate these 3 specific narratives. 1. Personal stories. The beauty of the struggle. These are the moments where you failed, learned, or grew. In our modern world, we are taught to hide our weaknesses. We post our highlights and hide our shadows. But in communication, perfection is a wall, and vulnerability is is a bridge. When you share a personal story of struggle, you give the audience permission to be human. You aren't just telling them a sequence of events, you are showing them that it is okay to be in process. Your inner glow is most visible not when you are standing at the finish line, but when you are finding your way through the dark. Sharing your failures doesn't make you look weak, it makes you look unshakable. 2. Stories about others, the mirror of humanity. These are the lessons learned from mentors, friends, or even strangers on the street. This type of storytelling is powerful because it proves you are a student of life. It shows your audience that you possess the humility to watch, the empathy to listen, and the wisdom to learn from someone else's journey. When you tell a story about a mentor's kindness or a stranger's quiet resilience, you are acting as a mirror. You are showing the listener that wisdom is all around us. If only we have the eyes to see it. It shifts the focus from me to us, creating a shared experience of what it means to be alive. 3. Success stories, the blueprint of possibility. Finally, we have stories of impact, real-world examples of how an idea, a habit, or a mindset shift changed a life. This is not about bragging. It is about providing a lighthouse for those lost at sea. A success story is a proof of concept. When you tell the story of someone who transformed their health or rebuilt their career from nothing, you are providing the listener with something more valuable than information. You are providing hope. You are showing them that the path is real, the destination is possible, and that they have the map in their hands. The inner glow, reflection. In your life, your narrative is your destiny. Every day, you are the author of the story you tell about your past, your present, and your future. Are you telling a story of growth or a story of stagnation? Remember, the world will always believe the story you have the courage to tell. Part 3. The neuroscience of novelty. We move now from the heart to the brain. Pillar number 4 is a concept that every creator, leader, and parent must understand. Teach me something new. The human brain is an ancient machine designed for survival. Because of this, it is programmed to ignore the familiar. Think about your drive to work. You probably don't remember every turn or every tree. Your brain has automated that information to save energy. But if a bright purple house suddenly appeared on your route, you would notice it instantly. That is novelty. When you present a novel idea, a new way of looking at a problem, the brain releases a chemical called neurochemistry. This chemical tells the brain, pay attention, this is new, this might be important for survival. In talk like TED, Gallo explains that the most successful speakers don't just give information, they give a revelation. They take a topic we think we know, like education or stress or diet, and they flip it on its head. The inner glow reflection. Look at your own life. Are you stuck in a familiar loop? To grow, you must introduce novelty into your own mind. Read a book outside your niche. Talk to someone with a completely different worldview. When you feed your brain novelty, you unlock a level of creativity that the familiar world can never provide. You become a person who doesn't just repeat what others say, but someone who sees what others miss. Part 4. The jaw-dropping moment. This brings us to one of the most famous pillars in the book, the jaw-dropping moment. Gallo calls this an EMO, an emotionally competent stimulus. This is the one moment in your presentation, your video, or your pitch that is so shocking, so moving, or so unexpected that it creates what neuroscientists call a flashbulb memory. These are memories that are so intense, they are burned into the brain forever. Think about Bill Gates. When he gave a TED talk about malaria, he didn't just show a graph of infection rates. Graphs are boring. Instead, he walked to the center of the stage, opened a small glass jar and said, "There's no reason only poor people should have the experience," as he released a swarm of non-infected mosquitoes into the audience. The room went silent. Then it gasped. Bill Gates didn't just tell them about malaria, he made them feel the fear of it. That jar of mosquitoes did more work than a 1,000-page medical report. How to create your jaw-dropping moment. It doesn't always have to be a stunt. It can be a statistic that is so staggering it changes a person's perspective. It can be a visual that is so beautiful it stops their breath. Or it can be a question that challenges their very identity. In your journey of self-growth, what is your jaw-dropping realization? For many, it is the moment they realize that they are the architect of their own prison, but also the holder of the key. That realization is an EMO. It is the moment the inner glow turns from a flicker into a flame. Part 5. The 18-minute miracle. Pillar number 7 is perhaps the most practical of all. The 18-minute rule. Why did the creators of TED choose 18 minutes? It wasn't a random number. It was based on the science of cognitive backlog. Scientists have found that listening is an active, energy-consuming process. Around the 15 to 18-minute mark, the brain begins to experience mental fatigue. It starts looking for the exit. Carmine Gallo points out that some of the most important speeches in history were even shorter. The Gettysburg Address was 2 minutes long. JFK's inaugural address was 14 minutes. If you cannot explain your world-changing idea in 18 minutes, you probably don't understand it well enough. The lesson for your inner glow. We live in an era of over-information. We are constantly drowning in data, but starving for wisdom. The 18-minute rule teaches us the power of editing. To grow, you must decide what to keep and what to cut. What are the extra habits, the extra worries, and the extra words that are cluttering your life? When you simplify your message, you amplify your impact. Part 6. The authentic glow. Finally, we reach the 9th and most important pillar. Be authentic, open, and transparent. You can master the storytelling, you can release the mosquitoes, and you can stick to the clock. But if the audience feels like you are wearing a mask, they will never trust you. In Talk Like TED, Gallo notes that the most viewed speakers are the ones who are vulnerable. They don't pretend to be perfect. They share their scars, not just their trophies. Authenticity is the inner glow we speak of on this channel. It is the alignment of your words with your soul. People can smell fake from a mile away, especially in the digital age. They don't want a robot. They want a human who has struggled and survived. As we conclude this deep dive, remember this: communication is not about talking, it is about connecting. Whether you are on a red carpet in Vancouver or sitting across the kitchen table from your child, your goal is to be fully present. Use these 9 pillars not to manipulate, but to manifest. Use them to bring your ideas into the light. Conclusion. You have just finished a deep dive investment into your most valuable asset, your mind. As we bring this journey through Talk Like TED to a close, take a moment of silence for yourself. We often think that the world's greatest speakers, the ones who move millions, were born with a silver tongue. We assume they never felt the cold sweat of anxiety or the crushing weight of being misunderstood. But the truth is much more human. Every great voice you've ever heard started as a whisper in a dark room. Every world-changing idea started as a fragile thought that someone was brave enough not to hide. The inner glow we talk about on this channel is not a performance. It is a homecoming. It is the moment you stop trying to sound like the person you think you should be and start honoring the person you actually are. Carmine Gallo's secrets are powerful, yes, but they are merely the matches. You are the flame. You don't need to be perfect to be impactful. In fact, your imperfections, your stumbles, your scars, your unique perspective are the very things that will allow your audience to see themselves in you. They aren't looking for a hero. They are looking for a human. My challenge to you today is a deeply personal one. Somewhere in your life, there is an idea you've been holding back. There is a story you've been afraid to tell. There is a version of yourself that is tired of playing small. Take one lesson from today, just one, and use it to build a bridge to someone else. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes, because the world is not changed by people who have all the answers. It is changed by people who have the courage to share their questions. Thank you for trusting Inner Glow with your time today. It is the most precious thing you own, and we don't take it lightly. If this hour moved you, join our family. Subscribe and let us walk this path together. Comment below with the word GLOW if you are ready to stop hiding and start sharing. Until we meet again, don't just speak, connect. Don't just exist, shine. Stay bold, stay human, and always stay glowing.